Trump's been arraigned. He pled not guilty. He got fingerprinted. Everyone's watching Trump. Meanwhile, there is some other stuff going on. Everybody, I'm Julianna Forlano. If you have come to love these morning headlines on the Political Voices Network, don't forget to subscribe. Hit the subscribe. I don't usually say hit the subscribe, but I want you to subscribe. Here are the headlines. Trump has been arraigned. How exciting. He pled not guilty, as we anticipated he was, because the man is incapable of guilt. After scowling through a court hearing, the former president basically tried to fundraise and hype his candidacy and hissed at Jack Smith. Meanwhile, while everyone is watching ad nauseum every detail of the Trump case in Miami, including what he wore, what he scowled at, and how strong the sulfur smell was in that courtroom, the IPCC report said that global greenhouse gas emissions have soared to a record high and are threatening to push the planet to what they are calling an unprecedented global heating event. Unprecedented is the word they used. And just FYI, in the Haitian period, the average temperature on Earth was more than 400 degrees Fahrenheit. That's the precedent. I just, a spare thought came to me while I was covering this story about Elon Musk, how he wants to go to Mars, a red hot planet inhospitable to life, because he's rich and he thinks pretty soon it will be a better place to live than the Earth. I mean, what the hell? That's a little scary, don't you think? Or perhaps he just wants to go back where he came from. Not sure. Anyway, the Trump case is important, very important, but there are other things of at least equal import. The Washington Post picked as a top headline yesterday that Pat Sajak died. That does not seem one of the things of equal import, but that is what they said is most important. Today, the top headline was about a fatal boating accident halfway across the world that had indeed a very sad twist to it. I won't report it here because, unlike the Washington Post, my intent here is not to twist your emotions into darkness and death, and also because it is really not important to your lives in any way. Just saying that the Trump case is important, but our media is focusing ad nauseum on the Trump case, and we have 24-hour news networks, and we could cover. We don't need it to be just the only thing talked about on every show. Of course, I just talked about it on this show. I mean, the fact is the court cases are not dampening his followers' faith in him. Saint Trump is raising money off his indictments. No matter what he does, his maggots support him. It's like a death cult. I mean, Trump replaced when he was in office, he replaced the Clean Power plan. He replaced it with a dirty power plan. He redefined terms under the Endangered Species Act that weaken it. He lifted oil and natural gas extraction bans. What else? Weakened the coal ash rule. That's the one that regulates the disposal of toxic coal waste. So you not supposed to put it in the drinking water, but I guess that's fine. He revised mercury and toxic standards. This is just a few things that he did. Shouldn't it just be a federal offense that his administration did things that are going to kill people? But in our final story, related, in Texas, tens of thousands of fish washed ashore along the Gulf Coast due to a combination, dead fish, by the way, of course, due to a combination of warming temperatures and now lack of oxygen in the Gulf. Water can only hold so much oxygen at certain temperatures, and climate change is causing seawater temperatures to rise and suffocate the sea. And now that it's summer, we see that is, we can really see what's going on there. I also assume the fact that Texas is increasingly becoming a fascist hellscape, that the heat from that hellscape is pouring into the Gulf and can't be helping this problem either. I mean, but don't worry. The guy Fraser from the New York Times, he said it's fine, that it's a natural process. It should all correct itself in a pretty near future. Nothing to see here. Go back to watching Days of Our Lives, Trump edition. Everything's fine. Just don't look up. I mean, Greg Abbott, Texas governor, one of the most anti woman, anti environmental, anti democratic governors in the nation. And I would say possibly in history, in the history of our nation. He's from Texas. And unfortunately, his career is not sleeping with the fishes just yet. But now the fishes have come to sleep with him. I'm Julianna Forlano. You are watching the Political Voices Network. Thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this presentation of the headlines. See you tomorrow.